Okay, everyone, welcome to my Inktober vlog. In this video, it's basically for my AP art kids, but you're welcome for the ride. I'm going to convince them to do Inktober and use a variety of mark making in order to not be afraid of the page. So this is me going through my process in all of my Inktober drawings for 2022. Guys, couple of things. I thought it would be fun to turn some of the Inktober drawings into people that I care about. So I kicked off this year by turning my son into a gargoyle. For Inktober, you can use pencil at first, and this was an opportunity to go over facial proportions. I really recommend that you block in where eyes are in the middle of the head and like figure out that structure and the angle before you go and you start putting in your cross hatching. Now here you could see that I'm slowly working in line. Look at how much I'm changing the direction of my hatching. And then before I get too into it, I'm gonna bring down the value of the background. And then I'm gonna work in some middle grays in the middle. So for Inktober, you can use marker. I'm putting in some curvy hatches to give the face form, right? To make the head seem round. And I'm turning my son into a gargoyle. Please pay attention to the fact that I'm using reference photos. So I have a mood board. You could see it to the left on the iPad that I'm looking at. Artists, you don't want to draw blind ever. You want to be looking at something. So by bringing down the background when you're painting or drawing, you can make stronger decisions about values, lights, and darks. So I know not to bring down the face too dark in the middle because I know my background is going to be my darkest dark, so the face can come forward in space. Notice how I'm dancing around the page, right? I'm not getting stuck in one point. Why should you do Inktober? Because you're not so afraid of making a mistake, right? Ink forces you to make a strong decision and put down a mark and just go with it, okay? So this is my final one. I cleaned it up a little on the iPad, made it a little dark. So give my students an iPad. Check us out on Donors Choose so they can clean up their final renderings. We would really appreciate that support. But that's my final prompt one, gargoyle. Okay, scurry. Some of these prompts are harder because you really need to think, okay, this is an action. What does scurrying look like? So go crazy. As I'm putting in pencil, I discovered that there is a show called Scurry. Now I tried to turn my daughter into a mouse. From the very beginning, I was like, I'm not winning this drawing. It's not looking like her. But did I give up? No. I kept bringing down the background and I kept playing around with the different values, asking me how dark is the cat, how light. So I'm actually looking at a picture from some Disney movie, I think, Scurry. And then I'm dancing around with the pen and then I'm making adjustments, bringing down the background. So a lot of my students are like, how do I do the background? It's like, well, you kind of like feel it out. You do the background as you're doing the drawing, right? What is a background really? But you bringing down the value. And if you do Inktober, that's going to force you to just get in the habit, incorporating the background. Here's my final scurry. Cleaned it up on the iPad. You're wondering, why do we need to buy students an iPad? Check it out. Okay, bat. I'm still in the middle of this one because it's October 2nd now. But here's me rendering, turning my 4-year-old into a bat. Now for a bat, they have crazy structure. So the cool thing about Inktober is it forces you to like get out of your head and out of your SI. Just take a break from your projects that you're doing in art class and draw something fun. With my son, turning him into a bat, I use small micron pens, dancing everywhere, making adjustments. I did quick pencil marks. Now I'm bringing down the background. Now Inktober forces you to like think, how do I make things 3D? This bat's body is basically a sphere. So I know that I need to make the sphere look round with a variety of mark making. But also, like, ink drawing forces you to draw the negative space. So negative space is the space behind. So I'm still working on bat. Scallop, wasn't too happy, made me kind of hungry. Wanted to keep that simple. Some of the Inktober prompts you'll do quicker, right? So I was like, I'm gonna keep this simple. I'm just gonna practice my form and draw a 3D scallop. and then get hungry while I'm doing it. I wanted to incorporate the spoon. Still working on this one, but once I put in the texture, the stippling of the little dots of butter and the sauce, really emphasizing the sauce, I started to win it. Flame was fun, but I'm still working on it. Flame really forces you to go crazy with like doing marks all over the place. Now I knew to win flame, because flame is a very simple thing to draw, you really have to incorporate the background. So using my reference photos, I started drawing the negative shapes around the flame as soon as possible. So I brought down the background, started to think about those mountains behind, but I'm doing background and then positive space. Do your homework, guys. If you do Inktober, you will get extra credit. Everyone should do Inktober. Everyone should get inspired by it. So don't not do it. Okay? I really believe in you guys. We got this. Let's do it.